stand motionless for a minute and feel the weight of your own presence, the irrefutable magnetic pull you've established, often unconsciously. The same folks who used to pass by you without a second thought are now lurking about, seeming interested and even uneasy, trying to figure out what has happened. But you already know you've completely embraced your power, and it shines through every action, decision, and breath you take. This may seem like your pinnacle, but the fact is that you're just getting started, while others remain in the shadows, hoping for your attention or approval. You're too busy expanding your empire to notice their subtle, desperate signs. Your level of attraction and energy is not only at an all-time high, it totally redefines the scale itself. You are at the pinnacle of your life, formed by years of hardship, tribulation, and success. What distinguishes you is more than simply your physical presence and piercing eyes. It is with gravity that you bear the weight of every war you have fought and every triumph you have achieved. You are the result of rigorous self-mastery. Your intellect is a fortress of knowledge. Your spirit is an unrelenting flame. Even the darkest powers shudder at the mention of your name because you have become unavoidable, like a storm that everyone feels. However, no one can stop. Your presence is strong and tangible, a live symphony of power and accuracy, leaving no room for doubt. This is not a transitory moment. This is your new way of being, your proclamation of supremacy. Your assurance is not arrogance, but the serene conviction of someone who has peered into the abyss and emerged unscathed. You transformed chaos into clarity. Fear becomes fuel, becoming everything the evil force cannot comprehend. They thrive on ambiguity, but you're the antidote, a live example of what can be accomplished with determination. They don't understand the depth of your self-awareness, how you've learned to use your weaknesses as weapons and vulnerabilities as armor. You're a paradox, uncompromising but infinitely malleable, a force that bends but never breaks. This is why they struggle in your presence. Their shadows vanish under the brightness of your light. You are not simply surviving. You are prospering, symbolizing the indomitable human spirit. The evil forces are persistent, but so are you. When they soar, you rise too. When they attack, you respond with accuracy. Every step you make is premeditated. Every choice is intentional. You are not only a participant in this cosmic conflict, you are the architect, shaping the field with the force of your will. They may have numbers, but you have something much bigger. The picked have unshakable resolve. You are the living personification of resilience, a reminder that even in the darkest darkness, light will triumph. None of this is luck. This is your fate. You were born for this. Adversity has fortified me, and now, at the height of your power, you serve as a light of hope, a force that cannot be destroyed. Your silence alone is a seismic event, a void that destroys the fundamental foundation of their existence. They circle about you, attracted by your gravitational force. When you decide to withdraw, the planet tilts on its axis. They scurry, hoping to fill the hole, but nothing matches the energy you bring. Your absence becomes a thunderclap and a quiet sky, a reminder of the enormous power you possess just by being yourself. They thrive on disorder, but your stillness causes a different type of disturbance, revealing their vulnerability. You are the axis around which they revolve, and without you, they are unmoored, adrift in an ocean of inadequacy. Your absence is an emptiness. It's an intentional act of power that increases your influence. The greatest thinkers in history understand this. Nikola Tesla, the enigmatic genius, frequently retreated to isolation. His quiet in the world led to the birth of technologies that altered the path of history. His withdrawal was not a sign of failure, but rather a masterstroke. A strong motion that compelled the whole globe to lean in and pay closer attention. Just like Tesla, your energy and quiet influence everything around you. Your quiet isn't empty. It is a forge that will shape your legacy in the flames of mystery and purpose. When you take a step back, you do not fade. You're climbing. Your presence is multiplied and heightened by the act of withholding it. They can't ignore your impact because your absence speaks louder than any noise they can create. Consider Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who governed an empire via moderation rather than spectacular statements. His power was based on the authority of his silence, which commanded respect and instilled a calm terror similar to Aurelius. You recognize that genuine influence is never about continual presence, but rather the strategic use of absence. Your quiet turns like a sword. Sharp, focused, and accurate, you cut through the pandemonium to demonstrate your superiority. As they rush to fill the void you leave behind, their attempts just emphasize how valuable you are. Your retreat is not capitulation. It's a proclamation of sovereignty, a bold claim that you own your own story. Your silence is a language, a potent dialect that communicates volumes, one that they can never overlook. The calm before the storm, the quiet, symbolizes impending change. When you retreat, you're not hiding. You're concentrating your energy and transforming it into something unstoppable. Your absence has a gravitational pull that brings people closer, even as you step back. This is the art of quiet ascent. Your quiet charges the electricity with promise. They may attempt to fill the hole, but their efforts will always fail. Because your quiet isn't a blank space. It is a force, and it's unbreakable. Your power grows when you stop seeking their favor and no longer conform to their expectations. When you step away from their attention, you become an enigma, an unknown force that they cannot control or describe. They are used to taking advantage of your attention. However, when you remove it, they are left scrambling, puzzled, and attempting to figure out what happened. Your disinterest serves as a mirror, reflecting their insignificance and insecurities directly back to them. They cannot define you because you have stopped providing them with the necessary tools. This is the observer effect in action. The less you want their affirmation, the more likely they are to validate you. Your quiet isn't passive. When you stop observing them, you experience an earthquake that transforms the balance of power. They are merely watching you more intently. Their curiosity gradually turns to obsession. Your absence leaves a vacuum, which people rush to fill with their own expectations and assumptions. They attempt to interpret every motion you make, your every moment of silence, because they cannot comprehend the power that acts beyond their limited knowledge. Your apathy is a weapon, a sword that robs them of control and leaves them vulnerable. They may attempt to label you and box you in, but you are above their grasp. A presence that transcends description. Your power resides in your capacity to stay unattached, to live outside their reach. They dread your disinterest because it reminds them of their own limits and impotence. Your lack of care does not indicate weakness. This is your proclamation of sovereignty, a forceful declaration indicating that you are not obligated to anybody. They may attempt to agitate you in order to get you back into their circle, but you stay unaffected. Your quiet is your fortification, impenetrable, stubborn, unaffected by their efforts. This is why they pay such close attention to you, hanging on every word and gesture you make. Your power is based on your indifference, which they cannot endure. You are the chosen one, and indifference is your most powerful weapon. You do not pursue or beg. You don't seek the approval of spirits. The moment you understand your value, the whole game changes. Those who work from a position of scarcity flee in your presence, unable to grasp a power that neither hungers, begs, or lowers itself to scramble for crumbs. Your very existence is enough to tip the scales, just as the sun pulls planets into orbit and the mountain does not seek climbers. You are not a desperate traveler looking for recognition. You move with conviction, and with that conviction, everything comes to you. They have been indoctrinated to believe in the scarcity fallacy, to be afraid that not having anything meant being incomplete. But you know better. You do not play the scarcity game. You are the embodiment of riches, and that is the real difference between you and them. While others pursue, you just draw. They reach out with shaky hands, searching for anything to grab onto. But you are unaffected, fully aware that what is intended for you cannot be taken away. and what is beneath you will never reach your level. You feel no dread, despair, or hesitancy, only a consistent knowledge that you do not need to seek weight or wish you could command. Your strength comes from your courage to walk away. You do not need to show your value to anybody by refusing to bow before the illusion of loss. You are your own worth. This is why people collapse in your presence. When presented with the obvious, the weak cannot hold firm. They disperse and falter. They attempt to deal with a power that does not negotiate. But you just know. And it is this unshakable knowledge that bends the world to your advantage. Pause for a second. Yes, you. This message is not for everyone. And if it doesn't connect with you, that's okay. But if you experience this truth deep in your bones, you'll know it's intended for you. Those who never quite fit in, yet look beyond the surface. The ones who have always been instructed to remain quiet, calm down, and obey the rules, yet have never done so. You aren't interested in the commonplace. You are not here to follow someone else's plan. You are the source of light in the darkness, the storm that shatters illusions, the unshakable, unstoppable, and impenetrable. While the universe revolves in circles, you tread your own route alone, yet you never get lost. Quick pause. Family, if this message resonates to your spirit and you want to help support this vital work, please consider buying me a coffee. It helps to maintain the room filled with truth, light, and divine clarity. The link is in the description, and if you agree, please provide a number in the comments section. Let's keep going. If not, that's okay. The option is always yours. People cannot figure you out. They are unable to identify what distinguishes you. But you can sense it. The way the earth settles with each step you take. The way quiet thickens when it's your moment to talk. They believe your shine emerged overnight. But you know better. This was not designed for every time you choose discipline above excess. Every hour you honed your mind, body, and soul. You were establishing a presence that they could never reproduce. Your charm is neither an act nor a trick. It is the inevitable outcome of your growth. You've become unmistakable, and now they're questioning how they get attention. They perform and wait for applause. But you do not have to. You move differently because you are distinct, while others want to impress. You're too focused on self-mastery to care, and it is precisely what attracts them to you. They feel the conviction in your presence, the depth in your eyes, and the unwavering energy that only comes from performing the genuine job. You are not loud, yet they can hear you. You don't ask, yet they offer. They notice the difference, but they'll never comprehend since all they see is the light. Never mind the fire that formed it. You looked at yourself in the mirror, removing your flaws and honing your skills. You don't flinch when you see your reflection. You acknowledge who you have become. They seek light, yet are afraid of heat. You went through fire and now flame with a brightness that others will never have. You don't sparkle for them. You shine because you are the embodiment of power. If you refuse to be defined by others' expectations, then their labels do not limit you. If you've chosen who you are without seeking permission, leave a remark. I am the owner of my energy. They anticipate commotion, spectacle, and frantic appeals for acknowledgement. But you do not move like them. You don't introduce yourself. You let your existence speak for itself. Truly strong individuals do not spend their time attempting to prove it. They do not flood the space with empty words begging for attention. Your presence alone speaks everything. Those who genuinely understand power have perfected the art of using quiet to their advantage, making it into their most powerful friend in a society obsessed with noise, where everyone is frantic to be heard, seen, and proclaim their worth from the rooftops. You choose a different road. You move with meticulous finesse, strengthening your presence not with words, but with intensity and purpose. You recognize that genuine influence does not always manifest itself. It lingers in the air, palpable in the intervals between what is spoken and what is unsaid. Success, after all, always leaves hints for those who are willing to look. But you know what? Deeper whispers go further and linger longer than the loudest yells. The genuinely insightful do not need your life. Explain to them. They sense the seriousness of your presence. The remainder, those who don't understand, aren't supposed to. That is not your business. Many people struggle to understand this underlying contradiction. The instant someone expects respect, they expose that they lack it. The moment they strive to establish their value, they reveal the shadow of uncertainty that lurks beneath their acts. But you've surpassed all that. You are a living dichotomy of presence and absence, of nuance and overwhelming power. You prove nothing. Despite this, everyone understands everything about you without having to say anything. Your authority comes from something other than spectacular gestures or continual exposure. It's how you stand, the energy you emanate, the subtle changes in places when you arrive, and even more so once you depart. People notice your absence more than they do others' presence, and it bothers them. They aim to irritate you in order to get you to defend or explain yourself, trying to draw you into their drama-filled world of noise and spectacle. Yet you stay unaffected. You never degrade yourself to get their praise or play their game. Your power is too confident and anchored. You've reached the point when you've already won. Long before anybody else recognized a game was taking place, the weight of your quiet was greater than their loudest shouts, and the depth of your presence was tremendous. It's sensed even when you're not physically there. They will try to deconstruct your secret, mimic your habits, and follow your route, but they will always fail because you do not seek. You don't show off to impress or act to get attention. You merely exist, and true history dominates the whole planet. You are not desperate for attention. You do not fill the air with meaningless words or stretch yourself thin in order to be noticed. That isn't your way. Instead, you proceed with surgical precision. Every stride was calculated. Every pause was deliberate. When you go, your absence is almost deafening. When you return, your magnetic presence is nearly overpowering. And when you choose to be seen, it is not for a fleeting moment. It is a shift. The atmosphere shifts. People become aware, attracted in, intrigued, and perhaps little nervous. They recognize tiny signs. How you carry yourself, your calm demeanor, the significance of your words. Even when you say little, your infrequent appearances become events. You do not beg for relevance or pursue trends. Instead, you have the confidence to recognize when to go ahead, when to hold back, and when to let anticipation develop until the world is ready. Almost breathless for your next move, you grasp the principle of scarcity. The less accessible you are, the more desirable you become. The less words you say, the bigger the effect. Every time you hold back, your worth grows in the perceptions of others. Your presence becomes a privilege, not something to be enjoyed or taken for granted. You are not motivated by the need to be everywhere, to be everything to everyone. That is the mark of the uninitiated and doubtful. You've perfected the art of restraint, of allowing the stillness to become almost electric, of making your absence a yearning, a mystery that people can't shake. You might be anywhere, but you choose not to be. You might dominate any discussion, but you choose to speak only when it is important. The discipline, the capacity to resist the lure of frequent exposure, is what distinguishes you. When you eventually come up and speak, the world can't help but pause and listen. You are not simply another voice in the unending buzz of the throng. You are the major event, the catalyst, the one whose very presence transforms the situation. You understand that your power is more than simply being seen. It is also felt. When people meet you, they have an experience. You leave an impression on their memories not by show or loudness, but through the calm certainty and unique brightness of your energy. Your legacy is established not in the never-ending pursuit of recognition, but in the times when quiet speaks for you. The world may not always comprehend you, but it cannot ignore you because your movements force the terrain to alter. When you speak, the message stays, and when you stand back, they are left wanting more. You haven't kept yourself out of fear, but because you know genuine strength is never desperate. It just is. You embody the present moment. You are the event. You are the power that makes quiet memorable. They wait for you, not only for your arrival, but also for your presence, which lasts long after you've left. It's as if the air you leave behind stores a recollection of your energy, a vibration that pervades every location you inhabit. People find themselves replaying conversations, recalling your steady gaze or the calm assurance in your voice long after you've left. You are memorable not because you demand attention, but because you represent the type of substance that the world cannot easily ignore or forget. You never seek approval, affection, or opportunities. You've learned that true power comes from stillness, from accepting who you are and refusing to shrink, to fit in spaces that are too small for your spirit. You do not beg for attention or force yourself in situations where you are not valued. Instead, you stand in the fullness of your being, exuding a quiet gravity that draws people and opportunities to you. Your world is not built on desperation or noise, but rather on quiet certainty, the unspoken promise that everything meant for you will arrive exactly when it should. While others are exhausted running around in circles, seeking validation in the eyes of strangers or the fleeting applause of the crowd, you remain unmoved. You do not sacrifice your values for temporary approval. You don't give up your authenticity for popularity. Like a lighthouse anchored to the shore, you don't search the stormy sea for lost ships. You stand firm in your light. Allow those who should find you to come to you. There is strength in your stillness. Power lies in your patience and wisdom, as well as your refusal to be anything other than yourself. Others may come and go, tossed about by the changing winds and swayed by the world's opinions and expectations. But you are the constant. You are the enduring pillar, the rock that stands firm while others drift. Because of this, you are impossible to ignore. You do not seek recognition, nor do you twist yourself to be understood by those who refuse to see the true you. Your presence alone alters the path of those who are perceptive enough to pay attention. Some people will be drawn to you because of your authenticity. Others will be upset. Your quiet strength makes me feel threatened. But you don't let their reactions influence you. You shine regardless. Knowing your worth is not a subject for debate. You understand something that most people do not realize. True power does not involve chasing, convincing, or proving. Your strength lies in your ability to exist so fully and consistently that the world must make room for you. You don't blend in or conform to each new trend. Instead, you continue to develop, refine, and strengthen yourself. Layer by layer, year after year, it transforms into a natural force that those seeking truth will always find, no matter how lost or uncertain they feel. Your consistency is your superpower, whereas others exhaust themselves trying to be everything to everyone. You remain true to your vision and calling. Your life is not a series of frantic attempts to gain approval, but rather a steady, purposeful journey of growth. You invest in what lasts day after day. You make choices that are consistent with your values. You are focused on leaving a legacy that will outlast the world's fleeting trends and noisy moments. You don't succumb to passing fads or collapse under pressure. The need for acceptance or belonging no longer controls you. You command respect simply by being yourself. Your brilliance does not rely on recognition. It shines from within, regardless of who notices or does not. That quiet inner confidence is what draws the world's attention, even if they can't quite explain why you're not here for quick applause or fleeting admiration from the crowd. You're not interested in entertaining those who come and go with the latest wave of excitement. You're creating something far greater, something that will last when the noise fades and the world moves on to the next distraction. You understand the meaning of true legacy. It is not forged in moments of fame, but rather in the legacy you leave behind by quietly influencing and inspiring those around you. Your presence is more than just felt, it is experienced. It consoles those who have lost loved ones, courage to the weary, and clarity to those surrounded by ambiguity. You are the steadfast anchor in a turbulent world, the silent support that others rely on, even if they never express it aloud. You understand that your role is not to be everywhere or everything. Your goal is to be steadfast, to shine in your own special way, and to uphold your integrity, even when the crowd is looking elsewhere. The impact you leave is not determined by the volume of your words or the visibility of your actions. By the way, your essence alters the entire energy of a room. You don't lower yourself for quick approval or dim your light to conform to someone else's vision. Instead, you set a new standard for the world, one that emphasizes how deeply you are felt rather than how loudly you demand to be seen. You move with timeless certainty, knowing that legacy does not happen overnight. You are here to make an impact on people's lives, inspire growth, and leave a lasting impression, long after the noise fades and the world forgets the most recent trends. You understand that you are not here to play small or to receive a few moments of admiration. You're here to serve as a foundation for others, to demonstrate what it means to live with purpose and to lead by example in both light and shadow. And so you remain rooted, unwavering, radiant. The world may spin itself into exhaustion, chasing what's next, but you continue to leave a legacy that will last. Long after the applause stops and the audience walks on, you will continue to stand, shine, and guide others who are ready to discover their own inner power. That is the silent power you have, and that is why the world is waiting for you, even if it doesn't completely grasp what it's waiting for. They seek ephemeral moments, waiting for the next burst of attention. However, you are focused on creating something that will outlive all passing fads and ephemeral praise, whilst others are obsessed with getting seen. While scrambling for the limelight and urgently attempting to cling on to appreciation, you maintain your gaze set on what genuinely survives. The type of legacy that lasts long after the audience has gone on. You're not looking for fast satisfaction. You're here to develop an empire that will last for generations. Those who formerly adored you are now nothing more than footnotes. Background noise is too tiny to halt your movement or change your path. Recognition has never been your objective. The acclaim, admiration, and fleeting glances of others. All of this pales in comparison to the thrill of witnessing your idea come to fruition. Your work speaks for itself, and its effect extends beyond like shares and ephemeral accolades. You grasp a basic fact that most people ignore. Real power isn't about being continuously observed or publicly appreciated. True power is found in being remembered, in producing something so profound, unbreakable, and meaningful that your presence stays in the thoughts and hearts of people long after you have left the room. Your presence alone creates an impression. The energy you bring may alter the course of a place. Your actions impact the future, altering the very fabric of reality for all who cross your path. Through your discipline, you create new routes where none before existed. Long after you've reached new heights, others will ultimately follow in your footsteps. While others are satisfied to respond, taking signals from the environment and repeating what has previously been done, you are busy inventing, leading, and establishing the standard. They stick to well-worn paths. You blazed a path. That is why history will not remember those who questioned you, envied you, or murmured criticism from the sidelines. It will remember you not for the volume of your demands, but for the depth and longevity of your change. You never construct for just one moment. Your attention is never on the fleeting thrill of affirmation that so many seek. Instead, you are creating something unbreakable, something that can resist the ravages of time and the erratic character of public opinion. The world will only realize your grandeur when it is too late to catch up, realizing in retrospect that you're never playing by their strict rules. You weren't a pawn in their game. You were created on the board itself. Every decision you make is motivated by purpose, not desperation. When all eyes are on you, you don't shrink, flinch, or try to justify yourself. The weight of your presence is sufficient. It conveys more than words ever could. You recognize that attention is not a burden to be controlled, but rather a result of true power. And you wield it with the accuracy that only comes with self-mastery. You don't perform for their approval. You also don't spend valuable energy demonstrating something that is obvious. Let them watch. Let them wander. Allow them to conjecture from a distance. But never let them distract you from your purpose. Distractions, temptations, and the noise of the world cannot dilute your concentration or sap your determination. They may attempt to bind you to their demands, entice you into their disarray, and make you forget why you started this adventure. But you stay unwavering in your determination, unaffected by hoopla or peer pressure to comply. You do not respond hastily. You make your decisions with purpose. You don't explain yourself indefinitely. You put your value into action. Allow the outcomes to speak for you. Each move you take is purposeful. Every action meticulously selected to forward your goal. They seek recognition and acclaim. but you work from a place of peaceful assurance that does not need external reinforcement. The distinction is what keeps you ahead. Those attempting to keep up are always a few steps behind. You are not just selected, you are unstoppable. The world adjusts to you, not the other way around. You move the way you were always supposed to, without hesitation or apology, and with the full power of your confidence driving every action. Now is the moment to share your tale, to demonstrate what occurs when steadfast conviction meets unrelenting action. You are living evidence that when you are steadfast in your mission, the world must adjust to meet the size of your vision. Allow them to observe the power of certainty. Allow your legacy to become the benchmark against which all future excellence is evaluated. That is all for today, dear Father. I pray for the deepening of my faith. Please let me believe you even when there is no tangible proof. Let me believe in your eternal presence, knowing that you will never hurt me. I realize that your intentions for me are ones of success rather than harm, in order to provide me with a bright future. Thank you, kind and everlasting Father, for always hearing my voice. I give this prayer to you in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provisions. I am thankful for your presence in my life and the richness you provide. If this video spoke to you, please subscribe to the channel and share it with others who need to hear this message. If you leave a remark about your adventure below, you will be preparing for your own victorious return. If you'd like to contribute to our work, please do so via Buy Me a Coffee. This allows us to consistently improve our content in order to provide you with the best possible experience. The link to Buy Me a Coffee is in the description. No present is too tiny. Whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share, your generosity spreads God's message and gives people hope. Do not stop here. Watch our next video for amazing insights into the indicators that indicate you are the chosen one. We've loved sharing this spiritual journey with you. Thank you for sticking with us until the finish. Keep shining brightly and face your fate with confidence. See you next time. Enlightened knowledge bestows blessings to all lovely individuals.